Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Do you want to listen to last podcast on the left without ads? Do you want extra content? Do you want to see what it's like behind the scenes? Patreon.com/last podcast on the left. Very special day today.
Oh, absolutely.
Very special. Will we rise to the occasion?
I hope so.
You better.
I have to.
I'm looking at you, Eddie.
Well, this is finally, I get a skeptic.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not another crazy person I roll in here.
I have to just talk to someone and pretend to believe what they're saying.
Yeah, it's not normal, like, you don't have to roll in. We don't have to go like, yes, of course, vampires. They are an unignored constituency. And they really do. Where is Kamala on this? Thank you, our wonderful, intrepid Patreon listeners. I'm Henry Zabrowski. I'm sitting here with Ed Larson.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest today. Someone, again, we talked right before. Very bright. Very smart. I don't know what we're going to do with this person.
You're just scared that she's going to tell you aliens aren't real.
I am. Because my little soul can't handle it. But this is somebody I really like. We're so excited to have the author of For Small Creatures Such as We and the host of the podcast Strange Customs. I'm really excited because it's really cool. This is one of those things. It's a part of the world I'm super fascinated about. Like, why do we do what we do? We have author, creative mind, podcast host, Sasha Sagan.
Hello. It's so nice to be with you both. Thanks for that hilarious and charming introduction.
We're trying. We are trying. Obviously, also, I don't want to always be like, famous daughter. But, like, you're the famous daughter of someone is the saddest, but it's not when it's like this.
Well, thank you. I do. I mean, a lot of my work and definitely my worldview is based on my parents' work. So I feel like it's part of my identity.
Oh, yeah. Because what can you do? Because, like, Carl Sagan is your father.
Yes.
If I followed my father's work, I'd be in prison.
Yeah, exactly. If I followed my father's work, I'd be drunk at Hogs and Heifers right now.
Well, you're both doing great. So congrats.
We're doing our best. So it's like, can I actually, we'll just start with that. Like, as the daughter of Carl Sagan, like, does it start, like, do people immediately assume, obviously, I know you're a genius because I was reading your essays and you're very smart.
That's right? Way too kind.
But you're very smart. But it's the idea of, like people, when they roll up, are they, like, nervous, or are they, like, or is it all, like, what's daddy like? What was daddy like? Or is it all, like, because you want to find the heart of the man. You sound like, this wonderful, benevolent, it's
yes.
like, the sweet man. Like, so what's it like having to walk around with it? Is it a burden or a wonderful treasure?
Oh, it's a wonderful treasure. I mean, I feel so lucky. I mean, both my parents, my mom, Andrian, and my dad, collaborated on books and essays on the original Cosmos series in the 80s, which my mom has written and produced and directed the new version of with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And
I didn't even know that. I had no idea, like, how fully involved she was, and the fact that, like, hunting for it for years, trying to get the Cosmos remake. Yeah. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. No, she's amazing. And both my parents, I mean, in terms of, like, is it a burden? It's really not. I feel so lucky. I lost, my dad was amazing and he was a really fun, great dad. And I lost him when I was 14. And so when I meet people who have questions about him or read his work, like, started reading his work a couple years ago or even weren't even born in 1996, I feel this immense, like, joy and gratitude that in this totally secular, real way, he is living on. And no, I love talking about it. And my book is, partly about growing up in that household and growing up with the worldview of, that science is the pathway to not just understanding and like, not just to like reality, but to awe and wonder and joy and that spine tingling feeling that we are a part of something larger than ourselves.
So how does the government weather machine work then?
Honestly, let's get down to brass tacks. Where are we at
I'm
on
so
hard?
glad you asked. No.
You're a science person.
Why did Biden send hurricanes to Florida?
Why would he do such a thing? No, I feel like it's interesting because I think there is this correlation between, the conspiracy theories and so much of the history of religion, because we are so uncomfortable not knowing. It is torture for us. The future is so unrelenting with its, our inability to predict it. It's miserable. And I mean, right now, I don't know when this is going to air, but as we are in the lead up to the election, I mean, it's
what's happening? What's going on right now?
Oh God, you're going to want to have a seat because it's really intense. But I think that like just this discomfort with not knowing the answer to small and deep, profound questions, we humans, we fill stuff in because even if it's something bad, even if it's something disturbing, we somehow are more comfortable with that than just the open space of a question.
It drives me crazy because
gray areas.
You believe in the Bible and God's the ultimate weather machine. He flooded the earth, apparently, destroyed everybody, and they worship God. So if they believe that Biden flooded Florida, shouldn't they worship him?
It's a long story, Eddie.
It's a web of meteorology.
But I kind of feel like it's why we're at where we're at right now in terms of the temperament of the country is that we track when we travel in the world of conspiracy theory all the time. And it is funny because it is as much of a faith as anything else, because you kind of believe that like a faith in the deep state means that you believe that there's a daddy somewhere making sure that there's a plan.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that if you're raised with a worldview that there is someone, a man in charge who makes decisions that you cannot possibly understand, and it seems like it's a bad thing, but maybe there's a good reason and you're not allowed to ask any questions and you just have to agree, it sets you up for all kinds of other ideologies.
Yes. Now, do you find that that's like what led you towards investigating the customs of humans?
Yes. Well, I think it's a combination of two things.
Like, what's a custom? Like, what do you mean by what do you call it?
So if you were to take part of the reason I'm interested in this is because when I was a kid, my dad would love to do these thought experiments about how would I, if I were to meet someone from another planet, how would I explain what we were doing and why we were doing it? Cool. And it was great because also when you're a child, you are kind of you're new on earth and you're still getting a hang of all these norms. And it's very easy once you become an adult to become very blasé about, well, that's just the way we do things. But when you're a child, you're like, well, why do we say something after someone sneezes, but not after they burp? Or, why, it seemed there's so, and then parents sometimes get very annoyed with the long list of why questions because then they have to ask themselves these. And so I loved always looking at the things we do from the outside. And so that's sort of the impetus for the Strange Customs podcast. If you were an anthropologist from somewhere else, how would you explain marriage, anything from marriage and, rituals around birth to April Fool's Day or, Halloween is a perfect example. I think it's that. And I'm also really interested in customs and traditions because as a non-religious person, I still want to mark time and process change. And I still, want to grieve when someone dies. And I got married and had a wedding. And when the seasons change, I want to have a celebration, but I don't have the infrastructure of religion. So how do we do that?
I think there's a distinct difference between ritual and spirituality when it comes to our species.
Right.
Do you think it's connected? Do you think we as a primate, we must have rituals?
No, I don't think we must, but I think that it gives us sometimes, depending on the ritual, it's either the illusion of control, if it's a ritual that we believe changes something, makes something happen, or it's about processing change, right? Like someone's alive and then they are not alive. The thing, whatever this is, goes away. How do we make sense of that? How do we process this change? Or if you think about all the coming of age rituals around the world, right? Someone is a child and then like, all these chemicals come in and their voice changes and there's hair and they're in a weird mood and everything's different suddenly. And then they're an adult. And like that threshold, we have to acknowledge that. And I think that, when we sort of look at so many rituals around the world, when you peel back the first layer of like the local set design and costumes and script, we are almost always celebrating the same things. And they are so often scientific phenomena. Like puberty is like a biological change, right? The changing of the seasons, it has to do with the biology of the plants and it has to do with the axial tilt of the earth, right? And all these holidays that fall around the solstices and equinoxes, it's because we're all, we sometimes make up a different backstory, but we're all trying to process the same patterns and make sense of them and find the beauty in them and alleviate our fears.
It's so fascinating. Do you think it would be better for young men to be left in the middle of the woods to try to come back instead of getting Jordan Peterson?
I mean, if those are the only two options.
How about we take Jordan Peterson and leave him in the middle of the woods? And see
if
what
he
happens.
comes back, then we have to keep him.
Now, I honestly, so my father was Jewish, my mother is Catholic, so I'm an atheist, but I still love Christmas. I think Christmas is amazing. I love celebrating. I got a tree, but like sitting there and worshiping Jesus is insane to me. So it's boring. Yeah. It's just, I mean, in general, I don't like people's birthday, and so it's.
And it's not even really his birthday. It's just co-opted from the winter solstice Roman stuff.
Exactly. But so what do you do around the holidays? I know you were, if you had to like identify as a religion, which I'm pretty secular Jewish, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So,
I mean, my ancestors, when I do a DNA test, it's like 100. I think they can only say like 99.9%, but it's like Ashkenazi Jew. And I'm like, I know. But
do you celebrate Hanukkah? Like, what do you do as, someone who doesn't really have faith?
I do everything. So we do Hanukkah as a kind of like historical reenactment, like we do it in this way to say to our children, like, this is what your ancestors were doing for thousands of years, and see this thematic through line about the light and the darkness. The days are short in the Northern Hemisphere. And so we do this. And then my husband's also secular, but his family is historically Christian. And, my mother-in-law does a lot of fun Christmas stuff, and we do that stuff too. And again, in the context of like, this is a way to honor our ancestors. And, also because Christmas is so, it's so ubiquitous. It's like you have to really make a choice to not celebrate it, And then
especially with kids. It's hard. It's hard to be like, we don't celebrate Christmas. Well, they have to deal with
it more
hard for them at school too.
Yeah, totally. And it's not like, it wouldn't be fair. It's just because, my husband did grow up with Christmas. So it's like, if I'm allowed to do my secular Hanukkah thing, we got to do that too. And then the other thing that we do is the winter solstice. And it's very, not in like a witchy way, although I have a lot of, no shade about that, but in a way of saying tomorrow, no matter what, the days are going to start getting longer again. And right now it gets dark very early, and that is unpleasant. But because of the axial tilt of the earth and the way it goes around the sun, tomorrow, I promise you, little by little, we will have more sunlight and eventually return to summer. And we do like, a dinner, and we celebrate that too. And I just think all the cultural stuff I love, but I think getting to the part that is irrefutable and real and good, that like the days are going to start getting longer, and that's amazing, is worth celebrating.
So you don't do the extended Santa lie?
No, we do not do any Santa, I should say. We do gifts on Christmas, usually
Yes,
with my husband's family. But we
they're
do not
straight from Jesus Christ.
Santa drives me crazy.
No middleman.
No
Yes.
middleman. Straight from God.
It's
Yes.
just like
yes.
Santa Claus is just like putting the thought into all children that their parents are liars.
But I also
You know,
love the
like-
lie, though. There's a part of me that wants to continue the lie. I love the idea of going in and...
Fuck that! I bought the gifts. You know, like it's like this is Daddy's money. You know, like Santa didn't fucking go out and go onto the computer and find the Hot Wheels track.
I just love fooling children.
Sorry, we're
You
yelling.
can do that anytime right here. No, I feel so. On Strange Customs, we did an episode about Santa, and it's called The Conspiracy, and it's with Nicole Richie actually, and it's really funny. And this idea that like it is like, I mean, that maybe also sets children up to believe in conspiracies because it is the idea that NORAD is like in on this lie is incredible. Like
Tax dollars are spent.
I mean, it's amazing how much effort we all collectively put in. And it's like almost this, like one of the most taboo things is to like blow that up for children. And like, don't worry, I don't go around being like, that's bullshit. Like when I pick my daughter up from second grade instead of the other children, don't worry.
Miss Sagan, we're actually going to have to ask you to please stop disseminating the power of pure information to the children, okay?
She's going to have to start taking the bus home if you insist on showing up at pickup.
So what do you tell her? What do you say that Santa isn't real, but keep the lie going for your classmates?
No, I say that everyone eventually finds out. I'm not going to ever lie to you, but it's not for us to tell other children because their parents have a plan for when they're going to find out. And, what's funny, though, is there's another fictional character who I did luckily my daughter's really skeptical. So it's now like this running joke, open secret, but I don't feel as strongly about like the tooth fairy as I do about Santa.
Why is that? Why is the tooth fairy fine? It feels like the tooth fairy is even more ubiquitous than Santa.
It's interesting because it's like, so the scholar that we interviewed about this, on my podcast was saying that one of the big differences is everybody can picture Santa, but the tooth fairy is like very open to interpretation. And it's like not like a singular creature that like everybody agrees on. So it's sort of more, it doesn't feel like this lie. It just feels like this like amorphous like joke. And it's also not like, oh, the magic is ruined when you find out that your mother put $2 under your pillow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, give me the money up front.
Well, it was also my introduction to money, to be honest with you. Like, it was like the first time I made money.
It was like a job, yeah.
Yes. And it's if you want to talk about strange customs, it is the weirdest thing ever. I mean, imagine if it was not like if we hadn't all grown up with it and you were reading in like an anthropology textbook about some distant tribe or island somewhere where when the children come of age and their teeth start falling out of their mouths, they put it under their pillow and then like a mystical like spirit from the forest with wings comes and takes part of their body that has fallen out and leaves them the like leaves them
money.
Their
currency.
The currency, the local currency.
Who's the tooth fairy selling these teeth to?
I mean, I don't know.
Why does she need them?
Who
Why
benefits?
does she need them?
No one just spends money. They're either looking for votes or they're looking for something else. They got something on you now.
She's going to frame these children for crimes later, leaving their DNA at the scene. I don't know.
Oh, my
but
God.
It seems suspicious.
The tooth fairy is Jeffrey Epstein. Sasha's sake, can I ask though, is it the tooth fairy for some reason? Is it more here in America or is it across the globe?
I don't think I have to do some research to tell you. We haven't done a full tooth fairy episode yet, but that is something I really want to do. But no, I think it's definitely Western culture. I don't think it's global. I'm going to look into it. This is a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily everybody's paying off their kids.
Live from your grave.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. It's so important to remember with the busyness of the holidays, every holiday, Arbor Day, that day about the planet, President's Day. There's so many things to adapt to in this life, and it doesn't follow a perfect plan. God, ruins the whole weekend. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, it can be a space to pause, reevaluate, and adjust to any unexpected changes. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is one of the leading online therapy platforms, having served millions of people globally. BetterHelp makes it easier to fit therapy into your routine. You're in good hands, too. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience, and hold all required education, training, and certifications. It's easy to do, and the help is better over there. You don't have to navigate life's changes alone. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod. Summer means freedom. And for adults, summer means work next to freedom. But thanks to Mint Mobile's summer sale, it can almost feel like the work is playtime for the adults. Right now, all of Mint's plans are $15 per month, even unlimited. Free yourself from big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile for high-speed data and coverage on the T-Mobile 5G network. It's so well connected, I could call from anywhere. Deep from well within my bunker, where my AI-fueled robots slowly but surely toil for me, but I know for a fact I'm saving money on my phone plan. Or up above, where I'm training all of my giant Amazon female warriors who will fight in bulletproof mesh. Also, honestly, Mint Mobile's really cheap, and it's really reliable, so you should use it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 per 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
Now, we've talked about Christmas and religion, and I really want to get your opinion on the afterlife. Your father famously said, I don't want to believe, I want to know. And so there is nothing to me. Like, my dad died twice. He, the first time he died, he had no idea that anything ever happened. He's like, there's nothing. And the second time, it was very uneventful.
Yeah, it was the last time he died.
It was the last time he died. So and a lot of people really, really want to believe in a life after death. Me personally, it makes no sense to me. But yet I'm on a very popular podcast, and we talk about paranormal activity and ghosts a lot and stuff like that. And also my family is very spiritual. So I'm just kind of wondering where your opinion lies on a life after death, a purgatory, the existence of ghosts. Like, I know there's 10 questions in there, but
if you could just wrap that up pretty good, that'd be great. You could take your belief system and sort of kind of wrap that up.
Oh no, this is like my favorite thing to talk about. And no, yeah, I mean, it's 10 questions, but it's really one question. And so my perspective is, in order to believe, for me to believe something, I need evidence. I need real evidence. And so to say, when people say, do you believe in something? This is like, the implication is like, is it what you like, your best guess, your hope, or whatever? And my position is, I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't believe in anything, in the air quotes, like paranormal, because without evidence, how can we possibly know what is just our hopes and our wishes and our confirmation bias or our fears and what is real? And I mean, that is to say also we are getting more information. That's the magic of science. But if any of this were real and there comes a day where it is proven true, it will be supported by some evidence. It will stand up to scrutiny, right? There are lots of things we didn't understand in human history that now we understand. I mean, if you said like a few millennia ago, like, I believe that the moon controls the ocean, controls the tides, right? That could be like something like a person
a witch would say. Yeah. It sounds like
what a witch would say, 100%. But then once you get gravity and like Newton kind of works out how this could work, it becomes real. And what I think is sort of the key is that, can we still hold on to like the awe and enthusiasm and the sense of like, oh my God, holy shit, this is amazing and stunning and exhilarating and spine tingling about the stuff that we have evidence for that is real,
yes.
And just hold an open space for the stuff that could just be wishful thinking or fears or hopes or ancient rumors. And I just think, like the example I always give is, there is a secret code in your blood that connects you to your ancestors that can solve mysteries that we did not know about like a few decades ago, 60, 70 years ago. And that it can is like the key to answering so many questions, reuniting lost family members, figuring out like all these, history. And like, by the time you're doing like your allele worksheets in middle school, DNA doesn't seem like this magical, mystical, thrilling thing, but I think it is. And so whatever things that we currently categorize as paranormal, we have to just like hold an empty space until there's evidence, because we humans are so inclined to fall into the traps of our own belief systems.
And I do believe everything can eventually be chased down and charted, but I do think partially it's because would you say even the bandwidth for what you'd consider evidence also kind of expands with science and technology and understanding?
Sure. And like the thing that my parents always told me that's so magnificent about science is it has this error correcting mechanism, right? You're a better scientist if you prove that the conventional wisdom is wrong, if you can really prove it, like it can really stand up to scrutiny. And sometimes we believe things for centuries and then they end up being disproven. But like this system is our best bet because we're not that good at figuring out what's real and what's not historically.
Do you think that there's a standardized version of science across the universe itself?
Like the universe, like beyond
Like
Earth?
if let's say we go to another place, right? Like, because I'm certain, does this extend to like alien life? Like the idea that there's probably some form, right? I mean, I don't know. We don't have the evidence, right? So the idea of an alien race living on another planet, like live with a society that can think, that's just kind of conjecture, technically. But where do you stand on it? Where do you stand on it?
You asked me about like when like people would come up to me, and like when I was a kid and people would come up to my dad. I mean, he would get in like airports and restaurants, like, Dr. Sagan, great to meet you. Like, do you believe in aliens?
Aliens, where are they at?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, and people really wanted to know, and they were genuinely, I mean, who wouldn't want to know? I mean, it was like genuine curiosity.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. I'm a moron.
Right.
You tell me what you think. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, this is like before like social media or anything. And so you're just like, oh my goodness, perfect person to ask this question. And he would say, I don't know. And they would say, oh, but what does your gut tell you? And he would say, well, I don't use my gut for this. I, use my brain. And we just don't. And he would have loved, and I can't underscore this enough, he would have loved to have lived to see some evidence that there was life elsewhere in the universe. But he, like the quote that you just mentioned, he didn't want to just fall back on his wishes and hopes. He wanted to really know. And so I think just like holding that space open for not knowing. But your question about like, is science uniform?
Yeah, like, do you think that if you go to another place, like, do you think that like in another solar system and another galaxy, like, would physics change? Would our stuff change? Like, or is the belief of science that there is a running theme that would hold true, or is it possible that like things could be entirely different in another part of the universe?
I think things would be entirely different. But I think that if we think about science as like nature, the way we understand nature, the way the physical laws of nature exist, it's not a set of it's not a list of like things to like figures and formulas. It's a method to understand.
Yes.
And whatever we were to encounter somewhere else, surely it would be like amazingly different. But whatever we were able to glean through evidence about what life or not life existence, inanimate existence maybe would be science.
Yeah.
Because I feel like almost in a way that's not faith. You're looking for evidence, but almost in a way it feels like science has this kind of, there's a faith in the idea that our ideas of science will hold. Right? Maybe, or it's like you're testing it.
No, I disagree, because it's the fact that we're like, the goal is to constantly test it. And then when there's new information, change accordingly is kind of, to me,
the opposite of belief, right?
Sometimes faith gets used. Yes. Like sometimes faith gets used as like optimism or like positive, like having a good attitude. And like, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? If it's like, oh, things look terrible, and it's like, have some faith. I mean, like it could work out. That would be great. You know what I mean? Like that is a different thing than the idea that no matter what you're presented with, no matter what evidence is brought your way, you will not waver. That is a different thing. And I feel like that is antithetical to science.
Yeah. And it's like a quest for truth and knowledge, kind of.
Yes.
And it would change depending on what you were testing, you know?
And what you learned.
Like, what is true on Earth wouldn't be true on Ramulon or whatever place doesn't exist, you know? And so
unless we do then find out that all science has there's like a bottom law, like there's like something that we're all connected to, which is what I think is literally the hope. Yeah. We hope that it would all, I feel like scientists would be, I'd say the term would be fucked if they ended into another section of the universe and they're like, oh no, it's the fuel stopped working. You know what I mean? Like the stuff stopped working, we're screwed. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, totally. But if we could somehow, even with everything that we're used to from our planet and solar system not working, if we could somehow then glean what's different, why it's different, what the structure of it all is, that pursuit would still be science.
Yeah, because you would have to discover whatever new elements are in this different place, and like whatever new gases that we have never heard of, exists in another place, because it all doesn't exist in the bubble we call Earth.
I agree.
And I just also think it's like, no matter what, if we ever get to go out into the universe and get some new gases, as you say, or any of the above,
we got to get new gases. I'm sick of these old ass gases.
That's the number one thing.
I'm brewing some of my own right now.
But I think no matter what we find, but it will just underscore how precious and rare this planet is.
Yes, I agree completely.
Rise from your grave.
So a lot of people super worried about investing. I understand. Money's fake. And you're like, why can't I just pull all my money out of the bank, turn it into essentially smelted precious metals, place them up inside of my anal cavity in order to get across the various country lines? I understand you. I'm with you. I'm like you. But things like Acorn showed me it's okay to invest. Give your money a chance to grow with financial wellness app Acorns. Sign up in minutes and start automatically investing your spare money, whether it's a little or it's a lot, especially if it's a little. And the Acorns potential screen will show you the power of compounding and how your money can grow over time. I'm actually not joking here. Investing money as early as you can is super important. I heard early on a piece of advice that said it's not how much you put in the market, it's how long you are in the market for. All right, so go and do it. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time consumers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/left or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/left. The first few weeks back at school set the tone for the rest of the year. iExcel helps kids build confidence and get up to speed fast. iExcel is an award-winning learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. We know our little Carmelita is doing extremely well in chemistry, to the point where we're almost concerned. Her experiments are taking her to the edge of knowledge and bringing her to questions of not whether she can do what she wants to do, but whether she should. And Wendy's learning a lot about the Civil War. And from pre-K through 12th grade, iExcel offers personalized interactive learning that adapts to each child's level and pace. Like it balances Wendy's love of chicken with her love of the Civil War. But it's still wonderful what iExcel helps her to get leaps and bounds beyond the other children at school. iExcel is used in 96 of the top 100 school districts in the United States. 96 of the top 100! Studies show kids who use iExcel score higher on tests, and also higher on whether or not they're going to get any snackies after their main dinner. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get iExcel now. And Last Podcast on the Left listeners can get exclusive 20% off iExcel membership when they sign up today at iexcel.com/left. Visit iexcel.com/left to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price. Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherry wood tree from Fast Growing Trees. And my God, I couldn't cut it down, no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planning essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
So we've been talking about outer space, going to other planets, stars, and whatnot. I gotta ask, just because it drives me crazy, astrology. Does it hold?
Oh,
any
my God.
Does it hold any merit? Like, am I the same as everyone born on October 5th? Like, it's just like,
He's such a Libra about this. Like, honestly, as soon as he starts talking about it, I'm like, oh, is the Libra talking?
I have the same problem, actually, because first of all, happy belated birthday.
Because in Los Angeles, we have to talk in astrology.
Yeah.
I hope you understand that.
Oh, no, I know. I wrote about this in my book, and I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles, and I have the same problem because people are like, what sign are you? And I'm like, I'm a Scorpio, but I don't believe that there is any evidence to support astrology. And they're like,
of course you would be intense about that.
Yeah, totally. Why don't start a huge argument about it. No, it's a huge problem, actually, that, I mean, is it a huge problem in the grand scheme of things? No, but I think no, astrology does not. It's not supported by evidence. And how would that even work if it were? That's the kind of the crux of all of this. Like, how would what planets and stars were in what position above above the hospital when you were born have any impact on your personality? Like, how would that work?
Yeah.
And I think it's just, yes, no, I'm against
also,
it.
like, my personality changes with a head injury. It doesn't matter where the stars are.
Well, who knows? Maybe that could reveal your rising.
But I think that the thing that the thing about astrology that really gets me is I think the desire for it, like the hunger for it, and the hunger for like a lot of stuff in that genre, like crystals and things like that, is because we do have this desire to feel like we're part of the universe. And we do have that desire to feel like connected to the earth and feel that and I think especially if people are not religious, there is that hunger to feel connected to one another and to the grandeur and majesty of the universe. And I think that is valid, but I just don't think astrology or crystals are the road there.
Yeah.
You're just destroying the market here. Okay. There's a lot of stuff we got. A lot of stuff is hinging on astrology here.
Finally, talking to someone I agree.
It was so convincing. They're going to close up all their little crystal shops in Los Angeles.
Just start crying. Yeah. Just burning all their tapestries, throwing the incense out.
Yeah, open up just a science library instead.
So, because I'm so fascinated by the concept of religion and why people are getting so crazy about it. It seems like the radicalness of religion is on the rise, but also it seems like atheism, or sometimes listed as just none, when you have to click a box, is also, I think, the third religion in the world right now. Do you think it's going to continue to rise as time goes, or do you think it's going to go down?
It seems to be kicking back, kind of, in a way.
Well, I do think the rise of sort of normalizing a lack of religion, I do think that it can make more fanaticism, because sometimes you have to dig your heels in deeper when you feel like there is a threat. And I think that, even the most devout, most religious, traditional person alive today is doing things very differently than their ancestors were doing 1,000 years ago, right? Nobody is perfectly following this ancient thing. We are all changing and adapting and pulling things out of ancient texts that seem important and letting other things that were maybe the headline fall by the wayside, and sort of just, like anything, traditions, rituals, religions, they have to mutate in order to survive. And so I think change is inevitable. And it's not so much a scale to me of more religious or less religious necessarily. It's that it's going to change over time. It's going to reflect the moment. What are the changes we want to make? What is the future that you want to create for the next generation, whether you're secular or religious? And I think that if you're holding on, white knuckle, holding on to elements of a religion that divide, that belittle the people that are different, that cause violence, then you are not helping.
No,
To
you're
say
part of the
least.
problem.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say, I don't like it.
And most time, honestly, even the core of the religion that they are
Yes.
believing in doesn't actually reflect what they're doing. So, you know, like
Totally.
obviously, look at the Christian nation state they want to build.
Right.
It is specifically like, you know, it seemed that Jesus was a easygoing guy. You know what I mean? The whole thing,
Yes.
the live and let live thing, all that kind of horse shit. And
Yes,
he talked about how
feeding
nice he
people
was.
who are hungry. Yes. Yes.
Taking care of the sick, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It seems that
Including people who are outcasts. Yes. That
Yes.
stuff doesn't seem like it's so
centered.
that has not been the main headline in the Christian nationalist movement. And I have a bone to pick with them about that.
That's my thing with them. I really do. I have had it up to here with the Christian, Christo-fascist nationalist thing.
We're not on the same page. No. I mean, it's a mirror, right? Religion, like anything, it's a mirror. You want a reason to feed the poor. You want a reason to do, acts of kindness, to build a hospital. You can find it. You want a reason to feel like you're better. Your little group is the one good group and everybody else can just suffer. Then you can find that too. And I just think more and more maybe always, but I think I see a lot of it is about identity and not about theology. It is, right? People who identify really strongly with a group, but maybe haven't done the reading.
Yeah.
I think that and that goes back to something very ancient and very tribal, and maybe there was some evolutionary advantage tens of thousands of years ago to be like, we live in a band of 20 or 30 people and we got to just survive and we can't trust anybody else. But
And
now
we got each other's backs no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. But now our village is 8 billion people and counting. And we got to start looking at it that way, because the differences between the groups, and like I said, like the set design and the script and the costume, is superficial and it is totally unimportant. And that is the greatest gift of the cosmic perspective, is when we get to zoom out and we're not down here seeing, where the world feels really big and the differences feel really extreme. But when we can look at, the image of the Earth from space, and we see that all these borders are artificial, and that if anyone were to show up from anywhere else, we would be indistinguishable, one group to another. And that I think that we have to just, use this amazing gift that science has given us to see ourselves as on this lifeboat together in this vast ocean, to realize that the little things that people are willing to kill each other over are just absolutely superficial and meaningless.
Yes. I always go back to a conversation I had with a religious leader when I was a kid, and teenager, but whatever. And I remember them saying, if you don't believe, then what actually keeps you from sinning? And now that I look back on it, I said morality, but I look back, but I also think that your concept of a sin is probably different than my concept of a sin, because you think that I can't say the word God if I'm not saying it in the right way,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
meanwhile, the rampant abuse throughout the entire
Right.
fucking church system, that it's would you guys seem to have that's cool.
Yeah. But if you have to believe in hell to
Right.
not steal or beat somebody,
It doesn't
or
stop them from doing bad things, does it?
Right. But also that's such a reveal, because it's saying I would be a serial killer if I wasn't worried that somebody was watching. That's the really scary thing about that argument to me, is because it's the idea of getting caught or getting in trouble or getting your comeuppance later on is the reason you're not doing really bad things. And then about all the little other things that they don't like, all the little sexual infractions that are between consenting adults or by yourself, or all the things that they don't like. It's well, then if no one's hurt, or two people getting married and just because they have the same parts, it's well, then you don't need to not do that. If no one's being hurt, then it's okay. And if someone is being hurt, you should have another method, another system internally that says this is bad, besides being, on the, CCTV of the universe.
The Lord itself, watching you. I just do it. It's just so fun. I think that what you're saying is correct. It's a really, because the concept of people want a group to belong to, because it's scary out there.
Totally.
It's scary out there and it's hard. And I think that people are willing to join a group, especially like, what we're seeing in current American politics, which is this idea of like for one side, the barrier to entry is extremely low. All you have to do is show up and they kind of accept you no matter what spectrum of hatred you bring to the fold. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They're kind of happy almost. They're like, oh, look, we got a new type of hate. Wow, that's amazing. Look how diverse our hate is. I think, which is truly incredible, like honestly, in a way, of how many spectrums of hate there is and how they can find community. Why can't we on the other side?
Well, I think there is, I do think there is community. And I think that when we can look at ourselves as belonging to the planet, I think we can, and the thing that I really admire about religion, even though I'm not religious and I'm critical of it in a lot of ways, is the sense of community and the sense of belonging and having a group that comes together when, times are tough and celebrates when things are going well. And I think for those of us who are not religious, we have to build that for ourselves. And I think being in one of the best ways to get that feeling is being involved in causes that you believe in and volunteering and social justice, doing things to make things more how you hope them to be. And it sort of also fills that need of okay, this is my group and we go with stuff envelopes together or whatever, canvas. And I think there's something really to be said for that, because we do want to feel like we're part of something, but it shouldn't be something that is, we're part of something that makes us superior to everybody else.
Yes, I agree with that. It was hard for me a long time because my mom was, without my father for a long time. And she would go to church all the time and give them money and stuff. I'm like, well, you're just giving them, your hard-earned money is driving me crazy. But then the entertainment in me is like, oh, that's just the price of admission for the show.
Well, that's how I kind of felt too. I was obsessed with being a priest as a little boy, and it was really just because but it was because I realized over time it was because he had guaranteed time. The priest had an hour every week where everybody had to show up and believe everything that guy had to say, and he could say whatever he wanted. And then eventually realized I could be a comedian.
Yeah.
I don't need this power.
Yes.
I can do.
Yes. And you can do it more than an hour a week. And
look at me now. All I do is
yeah. And you don't have to learn Latin or whatever. So that's good.
Not unless we're trying to break into Vatican City podcast market, which has honestly been very difficult.
Yes, I can see
it is
how that
so
would
hard to get into the papacy podcast.
Yeah.
Now, world.
It's mainly just one guy who's kind of controlling that.
Thank you for Squarespace. Use code BigPope90 for Squarespace.
Now, I got to ask this question just because you're here and Henry's here. Henry fancies himself a Satanist. And what does that, when you hear that, what do you think?
So my understanding, and you'll have to tell me if I'm wrong, is that it is a subversive belief system. And it is I feel like one of the things that I know most about the Satanists is the ways in which they have really worked within the legal system to sort of counteract some of the Christian nationalist moves and say, oh, well, then can we go to the public school and hand out our flyers too? And sort of leading us to question how the ways in which our society favors one belief system over the others. And I don't know, I heard someone say that Satanists don't really believe in Satan.
They don't.
Christians.
The whole point of Satanism is that it is an edgelord political position. I am a Satanist and I believe in that. The idea that you're just supposed to remind everybody the church needs the devil. You know, like that's the whole
Like in
thing here.
1984. Yeah.
There's like a whole thing here where like there's a whole side of this story that's not being told, which is this serpent gave them the ability to be wise. Like it gave humans the ability to not, because that's the idea. They were living in a fantasy world, and they were living in the Garden of Eden, which is essentially a really nice cage. And then the devil came and released
24-hour-a-day surveillance.
Yeah.
and then we gave people autonomy. But then that's the problem, isn't it? And then it's been the problem ever since. Is that we've been
here
loose.
Here we are.
Right. Thank you this has been wonderful.
Sasha, you're a delight.
This is wonderful.
Thank you. Same to you both.
Please.
And I just enjoyed this so much.
Thank you. Please buy the book For Small Creatures Such as We by Sasha Sagan. Anything you want to leave people on? Anything you want? Any socials? I know you must love TikTok. You must love social media.
I am very nearly 42 years old, so I don't think I'm allowed on TikTok.
No, we're running it. It's not good out there. No, millennials are sadly in charge of TikTok. It's not good.
That's even worse. Okay,
Yes.
no, but I am on Instagram. I'm Sasha Sagan on Instagram, and I just had the best time talking to you both. Thank you.
Thank you, and go check out the podcast Strange Customs because it's still out, right? Because are you still hosting it actively?
Just had
No, I'm on a little break right now, but I want to come back to it. I really enjoy doing it. I like asking people questions about why they feel like really strongly about, April Fool's Day and things like that.
Such a Scorpio. Can't believe it.
I walked right into that one.
Thank you so much for being with us.
This podcast is supported by Nurtec ODT, Rimegepant. We know you didn't ask for an interruption, but migraine doesn't wait for the right moment to interrupt either. It just barges in, takes your time, and throws everything off. So when migraine takes your time, take Nurtec. It's for the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults. Nurtec can provide pain relief in 2 hours, which can last up to 2 days. Ask your healthcare provider if Nurtec is right for you because your time is for you, not migraine. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use. Get help right away for trouble breathing, rash, swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or throat. High blood pressure and Raynaud syndrome can occur. Get help for high blood pressure, numbness, coolness, pain, or color changes in fingers and toes. Common side effect is nausea. For full prescribing information, call 1-833-4-NURTEC or visit Nurtec.com. All right, back to your podcast, playlist, or whatever's keeping you going today.
Wendy's believes summer should be more fun and less expensive, which is why, for a limited time, they're making their small classic Frosty just $1. Because let's be real, summer and Frosty just go together. So come on down and celebrate $1 Frosty summer at Wendy's with a hot deal on your favorite cool summer treat. But this deal melts away when summer does, so get it while it's hot. Or, cold. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.